is the rarest thing in the world. People just exist, says Oscar Wilde. Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Seema Chhoriya, and I welcome you all to another insightful session on great principles. Joining me in conversation is my very determined educator of the day, Dr. Neha Sharma, Principal, GD Goenka Public School, Ghaziabad. She is going to tell us that how you can, live your life rather than just existing on this planet, and how we can make a life for the life of our children more meaningful. So let us hear it from her. Welcome, Neha ma'am, to Great Principles. We're really very honored to have you with us.
Thank you, Seema, for inviting me over. I'm sure this conversation is going to be an interesting one, and we'll definitely have some takeaways for the audience.
And we can't wait more to know about you. So let us begin with the very first question, ma'am. So, to all my dear viewers, it was ma'am's own teachers, those who left, and her own mentors that left an impression on her mind. And look at her today. She is continuing to be on this path of education. She's an educator today. So, मैम आपसे ये जानना चाहेंगे हम कि वो कौन सी क्वालिटीज थी जो आपने आपके टीचर्स, आपके मेंटर्स से ली है और आज आप उनको प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं, and you're living it every day. So please take us back to your days and throw some light about the qualities of educators.
Okay, Seema, I think this is one very nostalgic question, और ये इसलिए भी nostalgic है क्योंकि हम कितने भी उम्र में बड़े हो जाएं, पर जो हमारे टीचर्स होते हैं, जो हमारे पेरेंट्स होते हैं, उनके लिए हम हमेशा छोटे और बच्चे रहते हैं, और मैं आज तक वो हूँ अपने टीचर्स के लिए। और ये मैं इसलिए भी कह सकती हूँ क्योंकि मैं अभी भी अपने उन टीचर्स के कांटेक्ट में हूँ जिन्होंने मेरे को 6th में पढ़ाया था या 10th में पढ़ाया था या कुछ इस तरीके की जूनियर क्लासेस में पढ़ाया था। जो मैंने उनसे सीखा और जो मुझे लगता है मुझे एक अच्छा एजुकेटर आज बनने में मदद करता है, वो सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरी ये था कि अपने बच्चों के साथ एक हार्ट टू हार्ट कनेक्ट बनाकर रखो। आई रेड इट समवेयर कि एवरी चाइल्ड नीड्स अ चैंपियन, and if you have an adult you can trust, an adult you can feel connected to, rest everything falls in place. I still remember I was never good at mathematics, but then in grade 5, I had a teacher who greatly influenced and impacted my learning. She motivated me, she supported me, and you won't believe it was the only year ever that I scored 50 out of 50. I mean, 50 was the score, the maximum marks. So I scored 50 out of 50, and that never repeated because the teacher left, I changed the school, and things like that happened. So, a teacher can indeed influence, they can motivate, they can make you do wonders. It's only that, as a teacher, you have to believe in your students, you have to have faith in them. And I think that is what really works. And this is what I learned from my teachers.
Certainly, ma'am. Our teachers do leave a lasting impression, and we owe to them whatever we are today. This is the kind of thing that they work for us. So, ma'am, the generation have changed, the requirements have changed, and we need to also change the way we teach, the way we parent. So, what are your thoughts on this changing generation? आपको क्या लगता है हमें हमारे टीचिंग मेथोडोलॉजीज में, हमारे स्कूल्स में किस तरीके के चेंजेस लाने की जरूरत है ताकि आज की जनरेशन की नीड्स हम पूरी कर सकें?
See, what I very strongly feel is that for this generation, they don't want content. For content, they have got Google. Now they also have Siri and Alexa to tell them just by one question asked that what exactly is the information, whatever information is required by them. So, what are we supposed to do as teachers? We as teachers, we have to now teach them learning to learn how to learn. I'm sure you all must have, all those who are there in the audience and you as well, you must have read many a times that, this generation, the future is extremely unclear, unpredictable, and you don't know what kind of a career they'll be opting for once they grow up, so on and so forth. So now if we are very uncertain about the future, for sure whatever we are doing today in our classrooms is not going to be working well, maybe later in the future. So whatever content we are teaching, fine, it's good for today, but for tomorrow they need skills that help them remain lifelong learners, so that they can keep learning new things, keep doing things that will help them in adjusting and adapting well in this VUCA world, as they call it. So we'll have to change our teaching methodologies in such a manner that they become more competency based, more skill oriented, and I repeat, more telling them various ways and methodologies, so that they can learn really well as to how to keep learning and become self regulated learners.
Absolutely, very well said, ma'am. This is the need of the hour, and I think all the schools have already started practicing it. Everyone is focusing on developing children to be more competent and holistic development, as that is what the focus of every school today. So, talking about developing these kind of skills and making our children more ready about how to learn and what to learn. There is one more thing which is lacking. There is so much happening, and this generation is so much exposed to different kind of information that they are getting. There's something called values, something called modesty, something called determination towards each other, to help each other. How do we teach these children? I mean, what could be the better gift for the mankind if our children become more responsible and they have those wings of independence? The world is no more situated in just your room. We have the open global economy. We are all interconnected. So, what can we do to create a modest and a resolute next gen?
First thing first, that is, we have to model the behavior we want our children to follow. So if I tell my child that fine, you have to be resilient, and I feel stressed, I feel upset when I return home after a day's work when my boss has not treated me well, for sure my child is not going to learn from me that how to manage my stress, my emotions well. So if we have certain life skills first in ourselves, I think that is really really going to tell our children that, see, in terms of adversity, in case of things not going well, this is how you have to respond. You don't have to react, but in a very calm manner, in a very mindful manner, respond to the things. So this is one thing that we have to keep in mind as parents, as teachers, that we have to be the kind of person that we want our children to be later when they grow up. Also, we don't have to give them conflicting ideas and thoughts. So we ask them to do X thing and we ourselves are doing Y thing. That puts them in the conflict zone, and they are not able to understand that what is true, our talk or the walk that we are doing. So we have to walk our talk, and that is very, very important. There are situations when we as adults encounter a lot of difficult situations, or a lot of places where somehow we feel that we have to take an easy way so that things go more comfortable for us. But then again, we must not forget that we are being watched. As teachers, as parents, both, the children are observing everything that we are doing. If we are taking firm, steady steps, not getting bogged down by the problems that are coming our way, trying to find solution, if we have that growth mindset, the child watches it and they know that fine, if there's a problem, for sure there has to be a solution, and we only have to find that solution. Nobody is coming and giving us that solution, so we have to be our own masihas. So if we are able to tell our children that fine, this is how the life is to be conducted, this is how the life is to be led, for sure we don't need any textbook, we don't need any other way to tell them. And yes, if the kids are small, stories do wonders. So for young kids, if we give them various lessons related to life through stories, we support that characterization of be it animals, be it fairies, be it any magical character that they believe in. They learn a lot through that. So we have to have that belief that yes, the fairies exist, there are demons, there are not things which are not good. So if we believe in that, and if we make them understand various values, various things that help them lead a better life through stories, that works well for the younger generation. And with the older ones, you can have more real life experience sharing. Thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely, ma'am. Hearing you, I went in back in my own home. We have a rule that no one is going to have any gadget when having any kind of meals, whether you're having just snacks or eating food. So it happened that my son was not around, and I just thought, let me sit in front of the TV. I had a long day today. Let me just surf what is going on. And I was eating. And he came and he said, is it fine to do that? You told that this is the rule and it's not supposed to be broken. So as you mentioned, that don't show them that conflicting kind of things do happen. So as parents, as educator, we also need to be very very firm when we are creating any kind of a rule, because it is for the good of the children that they learn. And you very rightly said, you're a very keen observer. I know when, but it just happens one and the next day he immediately took the advantage. She was having her cup of tea and her snack in front of television. I have all the right to do the same. She was not having a meal, she was not having lunch, but she was having that. So give me that permission. So even the when 5-year old can have such kind of thoughts, we can imagine where our youth is going on today. So ma'am, you very rightly said that you need to model everything. If you want anything for your children, just be the role model, the right model, because they are very good observer. And yes, magic of stories, it really, really does wonders. I've tried and tested. It gives child an entire different perspective of the things. And it shows them that they are good and bad both exist in the world. So that's the beauty of the story. So beautiful takeaways from ma'am answers. So to all my dear viewers, you have to be very very firm when you are as parents. The biggest mistake we do is we aren't firm on the rules that we only set in. And I think that we all need to be more thoughtful when designing any such kind of rules. So moving ahead in our conversation now, so as we have already heard ma'am, she has a lot of thoughts, and I'm sure her work is already paying her a lot of accolades and recognition. So ma'am, there is so much that you've earned and there are many more to come. So tell me, is there any particular recognition or award that is very, very close to your heart?
See, if I start listing, there are, by God's grace, my work has been really well taken and recognized by various organizations. And often I remember, receiving Shiksha with Saman thing. And then there was one, a recognition for contribution in the field of education by Amity University also. Then a lot of appreciation letters for the work being done. Very recently there is a module that we have developed for conducive classroom environment. So for that, have received one commendation letter and things like that. But these, what I feel, are just certificates. I mean, they are definitely motivating. I won't say that they don't bring a smile on my face whenever I receive them. But the biggest award, as you asked, that I should share, the one I'm really proud of, is the kind of comfort that my students feel when I'm around them. The ease with which they can enter my room, share whatever they have to, the kind of response that I get from my team. So today is a birthday of one of my team members, and she simply said that, I'm coming and meeting you, and I just won't leave the campus without getting a hug from you. So these are the rewards that you get, and I think this is what makes my life more worthwhile. And really, I mean, I think I'm blessed that I could be an educator, and these are the blessings and perks of being an educator.
Congratulations for all your achievements, ma'am. And now I learned that you not only just preach, you practice also, as you said in your very first answer, that you need to establish that connect with the students. And we see that you have established it well. That is the bond which makes it so magical, that the children are very comfortable with you around. And this is what is needed, right, for any educator. So we wish you all the luck that there are many more achievements for your life to come in, and your children keep showering their love on you as you are doing. So we have reached to the very interesting segment of the show now, which is called the rapid fire round. So here you have to answer in one word or a statement would do. Okay.
Okay.
So we are all set, and now we'll be starting with the very first question of ours. It tell us about where have you traveled so far?
I've traveled across length and breadth of the country, Kashmir to Kanyakumari, north to south, and of course globally also. Have trotted across various continents. So Australia is left, Antarctica is left, and I'm sure I'll soon be reaching there as well.
Wonderful. So what would you suggest our parents, about traveling with their kids?
Traveling is a complete lesson in itself. You visit a place and there's so much more that you can learn. So I think you must plan some family travels. I do that almost. I mean, now my daughter is doing her higher studies, so for past 2 years we have not been able to do due to COVID as well. But we had this pact that for every vacation, summer break, we'll at least cover one part of our country. And this, I mean, has brought me some real fantastic memories with her. And we get to learn, we meet a lot of people, trying different cuisines, visiting places. So this is something interesting that you must definitely do.
Certainly, howsoever I read about a place, but when I visit that, the impressions are permanently, imprinted on my mind. I will never forget that. So that is a kind of experience of traveling. So to all my dear parents, all my dear viewers out there, as ma'am suggested, do plan these travel trips with your kids. These are the experience which have a lot of learning with, for them. So moving ahead to my next question, what do you do when you're not working?
Well, I'm a lot into theater. I'm into storytelling. I paint. I sing. I mean, read. There's a lot, and for me, I think I try to create a balance between my work and the things that make me happy. So, like doing various other things.
Wow, so much, So you're certainly a creative person, having so much creativity, and you're equally focused on music, art, sports, traveling, everything. So that is something really wonderful to do. Moving ahead to my next question, who is that educationist whom you look upon for your advice and support?
So I have Mrs. Raghavan. She was my class teacher and my English teacher when I was in grade 6 and 7. So I'm still in touch with her. I try and reach out to her whenever I need that, motivational kind of. I mean, it's something which I just can't express in words. Then of course I've got my other teachers also who I keep in touch with. And yes, I reach out to my mother when I need that strong advice and support. She's my pillar of strength. And my father, who always guides me to do things which are right and how that is to be done.
Absolutely. The people, those who truly love you, will always tell you what is right to do, not what you want to do. So, this is the beauty of having the right set of people always around you. So, coming to the last question in this segment, and what is that one factor you feel differentiate your school, GD Goenka Public School, from other school in the vicinity?
It's one school where you'll see smiles on everyone's face.
All right, so it's a happy school. Wow. So the happy school is a something which every parent seek who wants their child to cry and go to the school. We feel so glad when the children happily go to school, and even the parents, teachers feel so good when they smile and say, "Good morning, ma'am. I'm here and I'm looking forward for the kick starting my day." So beautiful differentiating factor. I don't think there couldn't be have been any other. So this brings to me to the last question of the show now. This is called the viewer's choice question. So my viewers have the question about story, and you have that art in you, that storytelling. So they say that storytelling is an art and very crucial to learning. Any information shared through story leads to better comprehension and retention of knowledge. What are your thoughts on the art of storytelling? How it can help the educators and the parents to make the learning experience fun for our children?
So when it comes to storytelling, I would like to say one thing very prominently कि कहानियाँ दिल से कही जाती हैं. कहानियाँ सिर्फ पढ़ी नहीं जाती हैं, कहानियों से जुड़ा जाता है. जितना आप कहानियों से खुद जुड़ेंगे, उतना आपके बच्चे आपकी कही हुई कहानी से जुड़ेंगे. आप अपनी कहानी में कोई ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आप बिल्कुल याद करके जो शब्द लिखे हैं, वही कहानी सुनाएँ. आप अपनी तरफ से थोड़ा कहानी में उतार-चढ़ाव, आगे-पीछे उसकी कहानी को कर सकते हैं. आप उसमें कुछ नयापन ला सकते हैं. कोई ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आप बच्चों को वही कहानी सुनाएँ जो कि आपने किसी एक ज़माने में पढ़ी हो. हो सकता है आज के बच्चे को ऐसी कहानी हो जिसके कैरेक्टर वो हों जिनसे वो रिलेट कर सकते हों. तो कहानियों को आप पहले, अगर आप खुद से कहानियाँ सुनाना चाहते हैं बच्चों को, तो खुद कहानियों से जुड़िए, खूब सारी कहानियाँ पढ़िए. कहानियाँ पढ़ना बहुत आसान होता है और बहुत मज़ेदार भी होता है. और किसी भी उम्र के लिए लिखी गई को कहानी हो, उसे ये सोचकर साइड में मत रखिए कि अरे ये तो बहुत छोटे बच्चों के लिए. कई बार बहुत छोटे बच्चों के लिए लिखी हुई भी कहानियाँ भी बहुत बड़ी-बड़ी और प्यारी-प्यारी, अच्छी-अच्छी बातें हमारे को बता जाती हैं. तो जितना ज़्यादा आप पढ़ेंगे, उतना ज़्यादा आप कहानियों से जुड़ेंगे और फिर कहना उतना ही ज़्यादा कहानी को आसान हो जाता है.
बिल्कुल मैम। मैम यहाँ पे एक और बात आपसे जानना चाहेंगे मैम। अभी जैसे कि हर कुछ ऑडियो ऑडियो विजुअल हो गया है, बहुत सारी स्टोरीज़ यूट्यूब पे अवेलेबल है, लेकिन एक मैजिक होता है मदर की वॉइस में, फादर की वॉइस में जो बच्चा रिलेट कर पाता है। तो उस वॉइस मैजिक, वॉइस थेरेपी के ऊपर जानना चाहेंगे। मतलब जब अब वो बच्चा फेस देखता है, एक्सप्रेशंस देखता है, जिस तरीके से बात करे, हमारी आवाज़ सुनता है, तो वो एक्चुअली मूवी को भी बंद कर देता है। तो इस मैजिक को हम कैसे क्रिएट कर सकते हैं?
देखिए, इस मैजिक को क्रिएट करने के लिए जो बात मैंने अभी शुरू में बोली थी, वो दिल से आता है. आप जब अपने बच्चे के साथ बैठे हुए हैं, आपने मान लीजिए एक अपना एक रूल बनाया हुआ है कि आप शाम को बच्चे को एक स्टोरी पढ़ के सुनाएँगे या कोई भी कहानी सुनाएँगे. अगर आप इसे एक रूटीन के जैसे कर रहे हैं, ज़बरदस्ती कर रहे हैं कि नहीं मुझे ये काम करना है, तो शायद उसमें ना आपको मज़ा आएगा और बच्चे को तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं आएगा. पर अगर आप एक मैजिकल दुनिया बच्चे के आस-पास क्रिएट करते हैं और खुद उस मैजिक से मतलब अपने आप को दूर नहीं रखते हैं, उस मैजिक का हिस्सा बन जाते हैं, तो आपको कोई टेक्नीक सीखने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. बस आपको खुद से उस पूरी कहानी का हिस्सा बन जाना है. और जब आप ऐसा करेंगे, तो अपने आप आपकी जो वॉइस है, आपका जो वॉइस मॉड्यूलेशन है, जो उसमें पॉजेज़ आने चाहिए, जो उसमें आपको वेरियस पॉइंट्स पर आपको स्ट्रेस लाना है या कोई एक आवाज़ क्रिएट करनी है या कुछ भी ऐसा करना है जिससे बच्चे को लगे जैसे वो स्टोरी में खुद से प्रेज़ेंट है। उसको करने के लिए आपको कोई एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट नहीं लगेगा। बस आपको जुड़ना है उस कहानी से। आपको ये नहीं सोचना है कि ये कहीं लिखी हुई कहानी है और मेरे को बच्चे तक पहुँचानी है। आपको ये सोचना है कि हाँ, मैं खुद इस कहानी का हिस्सा हूँ, बच्चा जो मेरे साथ है, वो इस कहानी का हिस्सा है और जब आप इस तरीके से इस कहानी से जुड़कर कहानी को आगे लेकर चलते हैं, तो वो कहानी बिल्कुल जीवंत होती है। इट बिकम्स अलाइव एंड दैट्स व्हाट वर्क्स.
एब्सोल्युटली, कितनी सिंप्लिसिटी के साथ आपने समझा दिया मैम कि कोई आर्ट, कोई मैजिक नहीं है। जस्ट यू नीड टू जस्ट dwell yourself in the story and feel the कैरेक्टर। आप कैरेक्टर को फील करिए। जैसे अगर हम एलिस इन वंडरलैंड की बात कर रहे हैं, तो आप खुद महसूस करिए कि आप एलिस से, आप छोटे हो गए, आप बड़े हो गए, आप मैजिकल दुनिया में चले गए एंड सी द मैजिक हैपनिंग। So it was wonderful to understand how this can be created. And it also helped to bond the children with their parents better. So it's not only about, some sharing some knowledge or spending time. Storytelling has a lot in depth thing. I think we can have one entire session on this. There is so much to learn about this particular art. So, anyways, ma'am, whatever information we could gather from you in this short time, I'm sure has given a lot to my viewers to ponder upon. So, thank you so much for your time with us. I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation, and I'm sure they have also. Thank you.
Thank you, Seema. Thanks for inviting me over.